Sup? This is Greggatron. This, 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 this. Look at it. Yeah. Yeah. Look at it. This. Yeah. 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 This is how are y'all? One question for you. Just one. Do you like my shirt? Yeah. The homie got me this shirt for my birthday. Shout out to you. Shout out to the homie. Alright. Now, this is a biblical question response. So Jesse Lee Peterson had or has a biblical question.
And my biblical question: how have you treated yourself all of your life? How have you treated yourself of your life? That's an amazing question for self-knowing, self-examination. Know thyself. If you don't know yourself, you will never become free.
I believe it's how have you treated yourself all your life? Alright. My answer to that is this. All my life, I had to fight. I've been beat by men. My daddy, my brothers, my uncles, my cousins, my nephews, my grandpappy. I loves Harpo. I loves Harpo. But I'll kill him dead if he beat me. It just ain't safe in a house full of men. I ain't gonna take it no more. Alright. But yeah, how have I treated myself all my life? That's a good question. I guess I could start by saying for a long time I used to compare myself and my situation to all my friends' situations, my peers. I would compare my family life to theirs. And when I got older, after high school, I would compare myself to them even more so, in the sense that I had buddies who were like going into engineering. And I remember my mom saying, you should be an engineer. You'd be good at that. Because when you were a kid, you used to always build those Legos and stuff. I was always building blocks and whatever. So I just had that in my mind like, yeah, I should be an engineer. That and my homies, they were doing it. I had some people older than me and my age who were planning on going into it. So I remember when I was in college, I wanted basically what they had. If they could do it, I could do it type stuff. Long story short, that didn't work out because it wasn't up my alley as much as I thought it would be. But that's just a prime example of when I used to compare myself to others. You shouldn't compare yourself to others for that reason, because God's plan for you is not the same as his plan for the homie or your neighbor or this person or that person. So it's cool to acknowledge what they're doing. It's cool to shout them out, big them up, pat them on the back. That's all cool because they are gifted. Some of these people, like when it comes to medicine or engineering or what have you, police work, some of these people are really gifted in that field, mathematics, science, whatever it might be. But that just wasn't up my alley. So I should be congratulating them. But instead, and I was to a degree, but I almost like envied them because I wasn't like as smart as they were. I'm like, why can't I get this? Why do they understand it, but I'm having such a hard time understanding it? But I just thought engineering was a field that anybody could go into if they want it that bad. But that was another problem. I think I wanted it too bad. I knew the money was good, and I knew it was like a respectable thing to do. And I saw they were doing it. And I had homies back then who were helping me with my assignments, like tutoring me and things like that. I spent time with them, but my brain just wasn't clicking. There we go, that's better. My brain wasn't clicking in the way theirs was. Like, some of the stuff, math comes easy to them. I was good with geometry. Geometry was probably the most fun. Algebra was cool. Trigonometry was cool. I kind of like trigonometry. Calculus was all right. Calc 2 I struggled with big time. But the minute I took Calc 3, that was the end of the road for me. Because math became 3D. And it was just, my mind was just like, nah. Because I couldn't make myself understand it. And the tutors who I had were both professors and fellow kids like me. But I couldn't make myself get it. I wanted to get it. And I was passing all my other classes. But when it came to that calc stuff, I'm like, nah. My brain was like, nah. So essentially, that was the end of the road for me being an engineer. And it's funny because I talk to engineers to this day. I talk to my guy, and he'll tell me straight up, he's like, we don't even use calculus on our everyday job. They just want you to know calculus so they know you know how to solve problems. You know what I'm saying? So that was, like I said, the end of the road for that. How have I treated myself all my life? I guess you could say I wanted to, quote unquote, do my best or be somebody. Someone who makes a difference. See, this is a tough question because I can answer this question in so many different ways. I'm trying to answer the question directly. How have I treated myself? Did I treat myself poorly? Did I treat myself well? I guess you could say I treated myself. I judged myself a lot when I was younger. Yeah. Because I wanted to, quote unquote, be good, be better, do something productive. I was big on that. I guess you could say I was hard on myself because I wanted to be productive. I wanted to help people. In the sense that I want to give them advice, whether it's fitness advice or advice on life. That's still not answering the biblical question. The question is, how have I treated myself? That's why I like these questions so much. Because they really do cause you to dig deep into your soul. And notice how I keep repeating the question because it doesn't sound deep right off the bat. But once you think about it for 5 seconds, you're like, this is deep. How have I treated myself all my life? You see, I'm stumped here. Great question. I guess you could say I was hard on myself, especially when I was in school. Because back to the academic thing, I remember like getting like mad at myself for not understanding. See, math was like my worst enemy. Because I was good with sociology, I was good with psychiatry, I was good with economics, even my political science class. All those classes were cool. Composition, which is just English, I passed all those with flying colors. I was always a good writer. Even to this day, I love writing. I don't write anymore, but I could. So you got the English classes. But when it came to, even chemistry was cool. Chemistry was alright. But math was my worst enemy. And I remember being hard on myself and getting like frustrated at myself. Like, come on, I want to be an engineer. So this is the one area that I have to do well in. But it was like the area I was doing the worst in. So I was hard on myself. And then later I realized, how am I going to be an engineer if I'm not doing good with this math? But again, I was hard on myself. And when you're hard on yourself like that, that's only going to make it worse. But that's how I realized this ain't going to work. But I certainly remember thinking like, man, if my tutor can get this, I can get this. If he just explains it and the way he explains it. Because some of these guys were really good tutors. They were really good at breaking stuff down in a simple way. I just wasn't grasping it. But I guess you could say I envied them for being so smart. Not even for being so smart, but I envied them because it came so easily to them. I was talking to a professor. Well, I wasn't talking to the professor, but I had a professor for Calc 1. He told us this story. He was like, years ago, I had this student who, I guess he was autistic. Well, this kid would come to class every day, didn't take a single note, no notes, no books, no nothing. He would just sit there and watch the professor for an hour and leave. Didn't take a note all semester. But this guy passed with flying colors, got all A's. Every quiz, boom. Every test, boom. Every assignment, boom. He had like a photographic memory. But this was the same kid who couldn't mentally work the vending machine. So when I hear stuff like that, and I believe that, but when I hear there's people out there like them, I'm like, wow, it's like we're a different species. And I remember like wishing and wanting to be smarter. Like, I want to be smarter like them. But these guys who are geniuses or these guys who are smart, they're not smart because they want to be smart. Like, yes, they work hard. Yes, they put the work in. But they're already smart before they go in to some of these fields. So do they have to work at it still? Sure, they still got to study in many cases. But I remember getting like frustrated because it came to them easy and not me. I had a buddy who we had chemistry together. Good guy. He was a year or two younger than me. Every time I got a C, he got a B. Every time I got a B, he got an A. Every time I got an A, he got an A plus. But he studied less than me. And he was so chill. So like Friday come around, there's a test on Monday. I'd be like, hey, you want to study this weekend? You know what he told me? This was like every other week he'd be like, I'd be alright. And he wasn't the smartest guy either. He was just chill. He was just like, I think I'll be alright. I'm like, be alright. Like, this test sounds like it might be kind of tough. Or no, it wasn't chemistry. It was biology. Yeah, my biology homie. He's like, I think I'll be alright. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, I think I got this. I knew we were going to pass it. I just wanted to get a good grade, like a good grade. Anyway, it's time to take the test. We take it. I get like a C plus or a B minus. He gets a B plus or an A minus. And I remember saying to his face, I hate you. I hate you, bro. And he just shook his head like, he's looking like, I'm sorry, what do you want me to do? like I'm smarter than you, bro. But I spent more time studying than he did. He always got a better grade than me. Maybe not always, but like 90% of the time he got a better grade than me. And I'm just like, dang it, man. What are you doing what am I doing that's wrong? And why are you doing so much better than me? And we're still friends to this day. To this day. But yeah. I guess these are some minor examples as to how I treated myself. I treated myself hardly because I was comparing myself too much to different friends when I was growing up, all the way up into my college days 10 years ago. So that's the best I can do for this biblical question. But again, they're so deep. You can think about this stuff for days. You can go deeper and deeper and deeper into the loophole, into the vortex. So, shout out to Jesse Peterson for that biblical question. That's good stuff. And they're like this every week. Every week there's a good question. You know, nothing wrong with this question. What they do is they open up your mind, man. Because they sound so simple. And then once you think about it, you're like, wait a minute. How have I treated myself? Because this video was going to be just a joke about the Oprah Winfrey thing, the Harpo. What's that, the color purple? That was going to be this whole video. And then just now when I really thought about it, I was like, well, I did kind of treat myself like this and that. Yeah, man. Maybe I'll make a part 2. Who knows? Hey, it's possible. Okay. Shout out to the homie for the good shirt. Shout out to you guys for being here. Thanks for all the birthday wishes from today or this past week. I appreciate y'all. I will talk to you later. And peace.